first did my, when I was doing my presentations earlier this year, I kind of was boring the people that I was talking to. So I kind of made everybody stand up, and I shared a little bit of my culture with the people. So I kind of want to, it's kind of a tradition now when I speak, is I kind of want everybody to stand up, and I'm going to share a little bit of Samoa, which, for those of you that don't know where Samoa is in the Pacific Ocean, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and there are lots of rugby players that come from Samoa. They're big people. But one of the things they love to do is they love to dance. So I'd like to share a little bit of a Samoan dance with you. So there's a guy version and a girl version. Today we'll work on the girl version. The girl version, if we put our hands out like this, and then you kind of shake your hips. The girls can do it a little sexier than the boys. And then you kind of move your hands like this. Looking good, I like it. I kind of put it this way. Now the girls keep going and the guys can look at them. As you've heard, I have been very blessed to work with NHT Global. And I like to look at my friends that I have and see, or look at people, and you can kind of tell the character of someone by how old their friends are. And I look at NHT Global as a friend. And they have been one of my longest friends. I've been friends with NHT Global and a lot of the people in this room for 10, 15 years now. And that shows you, to me, personally, that shows the strength of NHT Global and the strength of the people that are still here. A lot of companies that people will come and go, but not NHT Global. A lot of companies will get rid of vendors because of this reason or that reason. But NHT Global has stuck with Premium Noni. They have stuck with us, and we have been blessed because of you, the members, and the leadership that you have. So I want to thank you. Good job. Again, Samoa is in the Pacific Ocean, so it's found just below Hawaii, and there is no pollution at all. The land is beautiful, it's pristine. There is no big industry in Samoa, and the biggest industry is tourism, and then they do tuna, the fishing, and Noni ranks right up there on the top as far as exports. And it's a great place to grow things because the soil is rich, like I was saying earlier. The soil is pretty much you put your seeds out there and things are going to grow. It hasn't been, like a lot of places will over-cultivate the land. So they've kind of pulled out the nutrients, whereas Samoa, it's raw, it's wild. It's really good, it's full of nutrients. This is a picture of me when I was a kid with my sister. And the reason we put it there is because that's what we look like now. I still have the same big belly, so it's kind of fun. But my sister is in Samoa now, and she runs the factory there with my brother-in-law, with her husband. And I live in Los Angeles. And I will explain how that works later in the presentation. We've had an exclusive partnership with NHT Global since 2003. So we're coming up on 15 years. When I made this slide, it was 10 million, but now we're at 11 million bottles sold, which to me, it's once again, it's a blessing. More than 1.7 billion Noni fruits were picked. Oh, can you throw me that fruit right there? This is what Noni fruit looks like. So it looks just like this. This is the plastic version, but as soon as you pick it off the tree, it starts to ripen. It starts to get soft. That's why you won't see any fruits, noni fruit in your store, because it doesn't, it's not, I don't want to say shelf stable, but it's not something you can transport because it gets too soft. So anyways, it looks like this. We've picked over almost 2 billion of these fruits from the trees. As NHT grows and grows and grows, we have the supply to meet the demand. And one of the things too, which I will talk about later, is how you guys have positively affect thousands of people in Samoa, not just one family. Noni comes from the Morinda citrifolia tree. The tree grows about anywhere from 3 meters to, say, 10 meters tall. And it's been used traditionally for thousands of years by the healers. Now, traditionally it was used as a topical. They'd pull the leaves and they'd put the plant, or they wrap the leaf around whatever, like if you have a cut or a burn or something like that, they wrap it around what ails you. And the fruit they would rub on there, or you would eat, they'd make juice and you would drink the juice traditionally. So there's a lot of different uses. It's packed with vitamins, nutrients, and again, traditionally, people didn't know what that was, a vitamin or a nutrient, but they knew that it worked. So, and now we're finding out the positive effects of noni. The key ingredients are noni juice. It's the 3 different types of noni juice, which I'll talk about again in a minute. It's noni, and then what we did was, for those of you that don't know, noni tastes horrible. The fruit is terrible, it smells bad. So what we had to do was we had to mix some things in there to make it taste good. We wanted to stay organic, we wanted to stay natural, so we added grape juice and pineapple juice for flavor. And I think we kind of nailed it with the flavor, so you can still taste a little bit of the noni in there, but it's not too overpowering where it tastes bad. Has everybody tried it yet? If you haven't, some of you guys are new, please try it. It's really good for you. Some of the key benefits, well, it helps your immune system. One of the things that I do personally with my immune system, if I feel like, especially when I'm traveling, I always take a bunch of the 2-ounce packs with me so that I can drink them as I'm traveling, as my immune system gets down, or as I'm sitting on an airplane or something like that with the people's germs all flying everywhere. I try to attack that. You have increased energy levels as well, and it's packed with antioxidants. Last year, we had an incentive trip to Samoa, where a lot of the leaders were able to come to Samoa and they were able to see the whole process, which was a great trip. Hopefully, we can have that trip again rather soon. And some of you guys will be able to experience and come to Samoa, and you'll see why we dress like this. Because it's quite the opposite of here. It's hot. It's very hot, in fact. So we were able to go, and then we were able to show people how we do it, how we work there. You handpick, obviously we go and pick the fruit. Nothing's picked off the ground, it's picked off the tree, and it's collected. And what we do is we go and we have our trucks that go around the island, and we pick the fruit from the different farmers. And when we first started with NHT Global, and we had our own farm, and when we were doing our noni, it was fine because we have a small farm. But as NHT Global began to grow, we said, hey, you know what, let's try to make this something positive for everyone, not just for me and it was my dad saying this. Let's not make this just for our family. Let's try to share this with all the people of Samoa. So what we did was, we had a noni day for the country, and we had everybody come and we registered everybody to, and kind of instructed them on how we wanted them to grow noni trees. So as NHT was growing, we could have small farms throughout the islands. So whoever wanted to make money, whoever wanted to, increase what they're doing, in Samoa, most of the people they go out in the morning, they gather their food, and then you cook it, and then they do the same thing the next morning. So you're self-sustaining. Everybody eats what they grow. kind of thing in the islands. So you don't have a bunch of jobs. It's pretty much your job is to go hunt for food or whatever it is. And we wanted to make sure that we can provide money for education, provide money for just to help your family overall. So what we did was we had our Noni Day. We signed up people. We said, hey, whoever wants to grow this fruit, you can grow it, but let us instruct how you should do it. So my dad set this thing up. We had a big day where we were going out, and we had these meetings where in the islands, it's one of the things I will talk about, the governing body is called chiefs. So you deal like the mayor of a village, of a town, and he would be the chief. And my dad is the chief as well, so he would be instructing the chief of the village, saying, gather your people, and then we would tell him how to do everything. And so when it came to collecting the fruit, growing the fruit, and planting it, it was all done the way that we wanted them to do it, so that we can have the same consistency in everything that we did. We go and collect the fruit from those farms. So the trucks go around. That was one of the things they got to do, was the trucks would go to village, and it would stop at somebody's house. Basically, your house is in the front, and then behind it is all the land. And in the islands, it's pretty much wild land, and if you can go out and plant, it becomes your land. It's not like that anywhere else, I don't think, but in Samoa it is. So the truck would go by, and then we'd gather the fruit, and then we bring it to the plant. We'd have a little bit of the fruit at our place, but really we wanted to make sure, because as you can see, the volume is through the roof, and we had to go out and make sure that we could supply it. And that was with the help of the Samoan people. So we bring it to the factory, we wash the fruit, we put it in these green holding tanks, and it sits in those tanks for 2 to 3 months. And in that time, the fruit ferments, and it gets soft, and it gets where the bioavailability, the nutrients become more concentrated in these tanks. And it's kind of like a fine wine where it gets better with age, kind of thing. So we put it in these big containers, and then from there, we used to hand squeeze. We used to take it out of there and we'd squeeze it down, and then we filter it. But again, volume started to rise where we couldn't do everything. We tried to keep it traditional. We tried to keep it the same way that we've been making it for centuries. But with the volume increases, we couldn't do that any longer. So what we had to do is we got presses. It's just the cloth that we do everything and press it down and make the juice. But we try to stay true to the traditional way that we made Noni Juice for centuries. So it's pressed, and then the very top picture is how we slice the whole fruit, and then we dry it. We sun dry it. And we take those chips and we put them in bags, and then that gets sent to California, where I am at. And then I send those dried chips to a laboratory where they make 2 different things. They make a high potency extract, and they mill it down to a fine powder. Okay. There you go. All right. So the chief to chief, there's a couple different things that makes premium Noni the best. One is the chief to chief quality, and what that means is kind of what I was telling you about, where the chiefs are involved with the process. So if I get a call from corporate saying, I need more fruit, or we need more juice, I get on the phone and say, hey, my sister, her name's Siosi, I go, we need some more juice, we need some more fruit. So she would call the chiefs of the villages, and then they would go and say, okay, we need to gather some fruit, we need to pick the fruit, and then the trucks would go around. So it's really, I want to say just in time, but it's to a whole different level, because they're calling the farmers. And then we go out and we get the fruit. But there's some time involved with the fermentation, so it's not really just in time. But that's when we're talking about chief to chief. It's the chiefs control the process from start to finish. I'm in California, I control it. Once it gets to California, then I make sure that it is processed. We blend the 3 different nonis together, and then the product is good and it comes out consistent. We have not changed the formula, no we've changed anything since we've started 15 years ago with the very first product. So if you have something that's been sitting there for a long time, I don't know if some of you guys, Garth might have some things that have been there for a long time. You can open it, it's still going to taste the same. There's the exclusive cheap. What it means is it's the management, the process from start to finish. It's harvested and produced the same way, and it's a direct source. So like I said, if the phone call comes to me, I call my sister, and you guys have product. I think we were talking about how you guys need to get to, I always tell people, you know what, when somebody says what makes premium Noni Juice the best, you can tell the different reasons, but then you can always say, I met the guy that grows this stuff and makes it. You know, his family pressed the juice. So there's a difference between some guy who stands up here saying, I make the best juice, and you don't know where it comes from, versus you guys can say, no, I know exactly where it comes from, I know the farm it came from, I know everything that it comes from. So there's a big difference when talking to other people about premium Noni Juice. Triple charge technology is one of the things that makes it unique. And for me, this is by far the most important thing, because a lot of companies will use our triple charge technology as 3 separate products. So they'll provide a juice for you. Here's our 100% juice. Then they'll say that's one product, and they'll go, here's another product, which is they'll make a Noni pill. They say this is their best pill ever. It's made from whole fruit that's been sliced and dried. And then they'll say, and then here's a high potency extract. So they're going to say there's 3 different products, and ours is the best. But what we did, and what Premium Noni, what corporate decided to do along with us when we formulated this, is we put all 3 into one. So we packed 3 different products into one bottle. So when we tell you guys, this has more Noni than anybody else on the market, it has more Noni fruit, it's because we have 3 different types of Noni in the bottle. The next thing that we did was, we have always been certified organic. I mean, we've always been certified organic. But as NHT starts to, as you guys are opening new countries, we wanted to make sure that we had the most recognizable organic stamp or certification that we could have that would be allowed in every single country that we went into, and that is the USDA organic seal. So we said, okay, let's do this. So we switched everything from the previous organic symbol that we were using, which was iPhone, to the USDA organic certification. And basically what that means is no pesticides, fertilizers, anything like that. I won't even talk about that. All right, so why organic? We're always organic. It's healthier, it tastes better, it's better for the environment. One of the things is we don't modify anything. Genetically modified. I mean, we don't even have a scientific lab like that in Samoa that could actually probably do that, so that's out of the realm of possibility. We've got multiple awards, international awards, for our Noni, for our practices, for our business practices. We've got, these are 2 different awards for international that we were recognized. The awards that I love the most are the awards that we received from the country of Samoa. I don't have pictures of them. And Samoa, the government gave us awards for what we've done for the country, for what we've done for the citizens, for the people of Samoa, and how we affected their lives. And that is a direct correlation to what you guys have done as consumers of premium Noni, how you guys affected the lives of the Samoans, because every time you guys buy a bottle, there's a family that gets helped. Every time families that are benefiting, not some big conglomerate of whatever. There's just simple families that are benefiting, putting their kids through schools, things of that nature. The Samoan government recognizes what we do and what you guys do, and they give us awards every year for Export of the Year, Manufacturer of the Year, things of that nature. Those are the awards that we love the most because it shows, I just think it's like a thank you to us, to you, for what we do. Remember when you open your bottle to shake well before you do it? There's going to be a sediment on the bottom of your juice. So if you ever notice when you grab your noni, there's a little thin layer on the bottom of it. Or on the top, you'll see like little specks. That is the powder, that whole fruit that I was referring to. That's the fruit that's at the bottom. So shake well. So you mix the fruit that's in there on the top. So when we talk about fruit, we talk about like the vitamins. Science has shown that a lot of the nutrients, a lot of the vitamins are in the peel, the skin of the fruit, and the seeds of the fruit. Now what we've done is we've ground, we put everything in the juice, in premium noni. So it has the skin of the fruit, it has leaves, it has seeds, all ground in there, so it's all mixed in. And like I was saying, there's 3 different products that are in one. And people there's a lot of questions, and I'm going to try to answer them from over the years of remembering, but one of the things is people will say is, how can you say that there is more noni in your bottle if you added grape and pineapple? Some people might say that. And the response is, you can say that because when we added grape and pineapple for flavor, we also put back in fruit with the high potency extract and more fruit with your powder. So we've added back into the bottle more noni in your juice than was there with just 100% pure juice because of the extract and the powder. And that's how you answer that question if somebody says, hey, this is a fruit blend. And you go, yeah, you're right. One of the things we did when we first formulated was, you can have the best product in the world, but if it tastes really bad, nobody's going to use it. And we wanted to make something that was going to be good, something that people would actually drink. So that's why we mixed pineapple and grape, so that people would drink it. So then they would feel the benefits. But then we added those other ingredients in there to increase the amount of the potency of noni. So hopefully that answered that question. And shake well. Refrigerate after, once you open it, put it in the refrigerator. And remember, the product can be great, but if you don't use it, it's not going to benefit you. So it doesn't matter what the product is. Dr. Ben has some great products as well. I'm going to be using the lotion because for me, being up here and being in Sweden, it's really dry. So my skin is, especially wearing sandals all the time, it's not a good thing. So it's a great, I'm looking forward to using that. But it doesn't matter what the products that we provide, if you don't use them, you're not going to feel the positive effects. So use what we have, and especially what we provided, and we know that are great products. And for years, we've had great experience with it and great testimonials. So I think that's about all from me. Let me look. Yeah, that's about all from me. Thank you.